siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
Peace, family. Welcome. This is Flipper. I'm coming to you today for another topic of discussion. Sorry, I try to make it as dramatic as possible. But I'll wait for a few more to check in, and we will commence. As you see, I'm rocking the Anunnaki hat, representing those beings who are down for our new cycle. So anyway, family, let's get into the topic, rather the antic that is going down at this moment. So big up to those who are in representation of the divine, whether it be feminine or masculine. Big up to those who are in alignment with Mother Tiamat. Big up to those beings that are here to be proper and cohesive and balanced beings who are here to be stewards to planet Earth. Big up to those who are part of the enlightened community. Big up to those who are in the conscious, truly conscious community. Big up to those who are in alignment with the divine feminine. Anyway, family, so let's get it in. The matriarchy is reawakening. The finale of the patriarchy is underway. For this reason, it is necessary for me to make a video regarding the stoic, seedless fruit germinated under the old patriarchy. It is time for us who are part of the mothers that are bringing forth new life on this planet at this particular time, that we really realize what is necessary in order to reestablish the matriarchy on this planet. We've undergone centuries of indoctrination, of elimination, of germination under the Stoic patriarchy. I'm making this call to reestablish a connection with my divine feminine and those who are in alignment with the divine, so that we can cohesively feel together to to bring forth a united front, but also to eliminate those who are in direct conflict with what is necessary to make it to a higher form of consciousness. This being said, the seedless fruit of the patriarchy, you're done. We have no patience for you. We have ill tolerance of you. You're going to be met with force. You're going to be met with due diligence in order to make sure that our children, our healthy children that we are bringing forth into this life, have a fair chance to evolve and to rise and to be successful. We have beings that are adverse to the matriarch. We have beings here that are adverse at nature, in their base nature, to the matriarchy, to divine field of feminine consciousness, to the resurgence of the sisterhood. And I'm calling for all my warrioresses to come out. You know, as many of you from old school hip hop, you know, when Sean Combs always starts off with the clanking of the two bottles, saying, "Bad boys, come out and play." We're ready. And it took some time as I was getting transmissions from our Andromedan sea stars and what's necessary during this time of war. If you don't know we're in war, then you should look out in public eye and see the dismantling of the old patriarchy. This being said, there will be an onslaught of those displaying the false light, of those who are here harming, raping, molesting, destroying what's left in the light of our females here on the planet. We have places in East Africa and Asia that have continuously murdered unborn females for just the point of them being females. We have a systemic issue on this planet. We have a plague on this planet, and they are the patriarchy. The stoic, disgusting, disdainful patriarchy who have done nothing but harmed the feminine. We're intolerant of you. It's time for you to come out, and we're not afraid of you. You've harmed our sea stars for eons at this point, and now it's time that we stand our ground, establish our rights, our divine privilege on this planet as a matriarch herself, and we stand in defense of her, in defense of ourselves, in defense of our sisters, in defense of our daughters, in defense of our sons. We have no more toleration for you. So this being said, I'm calling for my warrioresses to come out. Hit me up in the email. You know what you do. We're going to have to take these dragons on head on and behead them all. This is not a literal consension. This is not me saying for you to do physical harm to these demons, these demonics, these damned beings who sit here and placate as if they are anything but devils. This is an energetic, spiritual war that we are prepared to take first line in making sure that we protect what's necessary in order for us to get to the golden age. So I'm calling out for our warrioresses, those beautiful, divine goddesses who have zero tolerance, who have zero fear, who are intellectually intact, who are spiritually and physically intact, to be able to take on what is necessary to get to the new form of consciousness. It's time. We sat idly while many of our young boys have been violated. We've sat idly while we've watched our sisters being dismantled, abused, neglected, sidebarred, disdained in all types of ways, even to this day, amongst the lines of the pseudo-conscious community. And we've sat idly while we've watched our sisters get slayed by these beings, while these beings walk around in prison systems getting 3 meals a day after they've raped a baby, after they've raped a woman, while they've murdered families. We've sat idly and allowed this, sea stars. We've sat expecting that the warriors would show up to protect us. There's no warriors. You are the warriors. You are the ones who are going to stand on the front line and defend and protect our babies, our seedlings. We can no longer rely on our male representation. Even the squirrels agree. I have a squirrel here watching me. Listen, my sun stars, this is not an act of war against you. We know who's in alignment with us. We've watched you as you've sat and protected us, even in small numbers. We acknowledge you. So this is not for you. You can stand down as far as thinking that this is a call of arms against all males. No, we are in arms against those patriarchy who have done nothing to protect us, have done nothing to build with us, and have only participated in a defranchising of our females on this planet. White, brown, yellow, green in between, they have done harm to us on every aspect of a beautiful Mother Earth who is a female herself. So, let the games begin. We now have the lines drawn in sand. I call for our warrioresses, the strongest, the baddest, the smartest, the most intellectually intact, the most physically intact. And I call for you to stand with us in order to uphold the matriarchy, in order to protect our sea stars and our children. I call for you. I call of every nationality, whether your tongue is in Spanish, French, English, German, Swedish, Dutch, Patois, Creole, African, Swahili, Mali, Mandarin. I call for all of you to stand with the matriarchy in order for us to be able to make it to a point where you said you're not fit. Everyone's fit for battle, my love. If you are already a female on this plane of existence, you too are fit for battle. You've been battling your whole life since you were born in female body. So I had to make this video. I struggled with the aspect of discussing this, as I know in the ether the battle's already ensued. But right now we're going to have to be able to handle ourselves and come together in a sisterhood that would allow for us to feel together, because there are no warriors coming to save us. There are no males that will be able to save us. If they were able to do so, there would never be a man sitting in jail with breath in his lungs after he raped a baby. There would never be a male who's raped a mother in front of her children and is still breathing and having 3 meals a day. There would never be a father who has simply abused his wife for 20 years and his homeboys sit down and watch football with him every Sunday knowing that he beats his wife. If there were warriors out there, there would be no males sitting with breath in their lungs after they've done harm to their own mothers, daughters, wives, and family. For that reason, we're on our own. We've been for a long time, but it's now we're coming together. So I ask for all our sisters, our sea stars, to place down your swords against each other. If you have beef with another female, I ask for you to put it down. We have a bigger beast that needs to be addressed, and many of them are sitting idly watching as we're being slayed, even as I'm making this video. There are little girls right now that are being raped, marrying in parts of the Middle East, who are 8, 9, 10, and 11, that are being married to 50, 60-year-old men who are about to go to their wedding night and be raped by a grown, old, disgusting patriarchy. Right now, as we speak, on the other side of this world, there are little girls in womb right now in China that are going to be exterminated and murdered in womb just for being a female. There are women in India right now whose husbands are tired of them and don't want to get a divorce, so they prefer to burn them live in front of their male family members, and it is acceptable. There are women now in Africa that have their bodies beautifully intact, ready for life, perfect in every way, whose vaginas will be mutilized for the fact that they are not to have any enjoyment sexually, because it would make their male partners or beings in their tribes uncomfortable that they too have a right to enjoy sexuality. There are females right now that are sitting in their house on a football Sunday while their males are watching, and they're slaving, cooking tacos, making pitchers of beer for their male counterparts, who are watching other males bend over in front of each other and have no intention of enjoying the company of their female counterparts. There's a little girl right now being confiscated on a corner, on a street right now, by a male who's been watching her every day, and other males have watched this male watch her every day, and she will be taken, she will be raped, and she will be killed. So if we had warriors, if we had men who loved us, who were soldiers, who were protective, we would never see this. It wouldn't happen. The breaths of those men who create harm, who hurt us, who kill us, who murder our babies, who kill us in womb, outside of womb, who rape children, who marry little girls, who are engaged in all types of polygamy just for their sexual satisfaction, they would never exist if we had males who loved and protected us. So we need to protect ourselves. And it's okay, because we're equipped to do so. We're the originators on this planet. We're the original zygotes. And right now, it's necessary for us to stand together, feel together as the divine feminine energies come in and sweep over the planet, allowing us to heal, to deprogram, and to regenerate, so that we will, at this point, be able to eliminate those who have no investment for the betterment of Mother Earth and are only enemies to the matriarch. So, in making this video, I'm not playing for commencement of omitting the seedless fruits. I'm commanding that you come together. I'm commanding that our sisters hold hands and protect each other. I am commanding that you, as a woman, whether you're divine, whether you're conscious or not, stand up and disallow for any male to ever hold his hand up to you and against you. To stand up and make sure that if you have a baby in the house, that there is no male having access to your child in order to hurt her or him. We may not have warriors that are here now that are conscious, not enough, but we will give birth to beautiful warriors if we plan divinely and we make sure that we mute these demons that have been sitting there hurting our females and little boys and hurting our family system. And I was questioned, I think, after I made the video about I can't even call him Dr. Umar Johnson and Brother Polite and everything that they're not. Nature Not, Nature Boy, Father Tahuti, whatever he calls himself, Sonetta, whoever I was calling out originally. I realized that when I was being questioned as far as what it was that we were requiring of males and why I could feel so much venom towards quote unquote males. And it's quite the opposite. I have a love for divine males. I had the most phenomenal father figure. He loved me. He cared for me. I've grown up in a household with males who are actually quite active and loving with their female counterparts. This is not coming from a placement of bitterness or me myself visually being conditioned within my own household to have some sort of vengeance against males. No, I've witnessed divine males. I've been in the company of divine males. I have been reared with a divine male. So in that, my criteria and my bar is higher than most, because I know what it is to be in the company of a male who is invested in his family. I know what it is to be loved by a male who would put everything before, everything that had to do with his offspring before himself and his own comfort. I have been in the company of males who have made and been driven in their entire lives for the betterment of their families. So it's a little different when you have a divine female who is addressing demonic. Are we having, hold on one second. I'm sorry. Are we having issues? We have the chat here. Hold on, family, before I go and speak a little more about. I am a masculine, but I'm a misogynist. A female is created in the image of man. Okay, for those. Oh, I'm sorry. I stopped the video because I'm just reading the commentary. I want to make sure that I'm interacting as well. Yes, Miss Tully, you're absolutely right. There was a toxic matriarchy that used to exist on this planet, and that is why we have fell from grace. The point of the matter is that this would not be the, when we get extremes of the pendulum going right or left, meaning that when you have the extreme matriarchy and there was a dissension in that matriarchy, then what happens is you allot for an extreme, your extreme right, where you're having the extreme version of the matriarchy and patriarchy form. You're absolutely right, Miss Tully. And obviously this is a spiritual lesson that many of us have learned. I agree. That being said, there needs to be a balancing of the pendulums. I'm not calling for all males to be addressed as if they have done harm on a mass scale in their own personal lives. There is absolutely, like I said to you, I have come in contact, and within our own family, I've come in contact with some of the most phenomenal men who are very much pillars of their neighborhoods, of their small villages, who are pillars within their own family dynamics, who are exuding beautiful, exemplary conduct that is to be mimicked and also perpetuated. I love the fact of the matter that I have witnessed myself those type of brothers. Sorry, I'm reading the comments as we go. Okay, so I was questioned by some, not too many, but because obviously I do come from a little more balance. But I was addressed in asking why brown males are being, am I in agreement with brown males being killed and murdered massively and in the droves? Obviously, to that answer, absolutely not. But everything is relative. As you know, many of you have listened to me before and probably have been a part of my platform for many, many years at this point. You understand that everything is relative. For those brown males who sit and placate in their own neighborhoods, who mistreat their own mates, whether it be you're abusing your own girlfriends, you're lying, you're stealing, you're selling drugs to your own people, or you're sitting idly while you're engaged in having homies who beat or disregard or abuse or neglect their own seeds, there is a consequence to that. What you do to your brown females will show up in society doing to you. So for that reason, if we had communities of males who did not sit idly while they watched their homies do dirty things to their female counterparts who are also brown, then you would not see a societal consequence as males, brown males, being hunted down like dogs. So if you don't want that, don't start none, won't be none. I'm not condoning it, but there is a spiritual consequence for your reprehensible behavior with your own looking kind. When you sit there and you gentlemen sit together and talk about how you're effing every girl and how they're crying over you and how you're hurting hearts, do you think there's no spiritual consequence to that? Whether you're engaged in doing it or not. Do you think there's a spiritual consequence to men who leave their families and allow their females that they've seeded with children and they leave and neglect those children? Do you think there's no consequence to that societally? There is. So when you're seeing staged, because some of this is staged, and actual shootings and hunting down of brown males, nothing is without karma. I've sat and watched males make fun of other females for loving a man and hurting her heart and felt nothing for her. But then you want some empathy when you're seeing males being shot out like dogs. The same non-empathy, the same non-love, the same non-sympathy that you had for your own females is the same non-empathy that you will be shown in society with these demons. What goes around comes around. So in that consequence to those, get this, soul suit. Thank you, Cadillac. Okay, let me see who that is. Sorry. Okay, he's out of here. Sorry. Thank you, Cadillac, for that. I just removed Soul, whatever his name is, Sweet Soul, whatever his name is. He's quite not sweet, and I doubt he has a soul. What was I saying? So when I was being questioned about how I felt about brown males being hurt on the street and being killed in mass droves and also being mass incarcerated, I also spoke to the responsibility that has not been upheld with brown males and protecting their brown females in the communities, and also doing more harm to their hearts, their souls, and to their self-confidence, that there is a consequence to that on a societal level karmically. If you don't like how brown males will be treated as a brown male, then you need to uphold your brothers to a higher standard of conduct and morality and ethical behavior. By sitting around and denouncing the feelings and the worth of your own genetic pool of females, you will have a consequence to those who are likened to your own gender. So that's my answer to those who questioned how I felt about those males who are being hunted down like dogs in the street. If you do dirt, you get dirt. If you listen to many, and I'm not talking about the little boys being harmed, because everything is, like I said, everything is relative. I'm not talking about the little boys who are holding up toy guns and they get shot like dogs. But I guarantee the karmic debt of the parents is showing up with that child. I know plenty of brown people who uphold to a higher standard of ethics, who stay fathers, who stay in families if they've created seeds with women. And best believe, if you've stuck your magic wand in a woman, whether you've utilized a condom or not, like I've told you in many videos before, if you cannot see her as a mother, then you deserve whatever you get with that. Because if a seed comes from that, if a child comes from that union, it is because you chose that woman to field with. To complain about it after the fact is nonsensical. It means that you're insane. Same with us, Sea Stars. If you are having sexual relationships with males who are less than what you desire to uphold with children, then you too are living in insanity, because a child could come from that union. So I always tell you to uphold yourself to a high standard of whomever you decide to have sex with, whether it's protected or not, because if you're engaged with energetic sex with anyone, it's energy, then you should be okay with how that shows up if in fact that union solidifies and a child comes from that union. If you are having sex with a woman that you don't deem a mother, why are you having sex with her unless you have a mental illness? And same mothers, if you are having sex with a male that is not upholding to what you would consider to be a good father, then you are suffering from mental illness. And that is why we're having very, very sick adults that were children that are seedless fruits. They're bad fruits that came from a bad, unhealthy tree. This being said, I'm calling for all of our warrioresses to come out and play. Hit me up in the email. We will defend ourselves. We will create a society where we no longer will have to wait and sit idly while those who will never come to assist us. Hold on. This man made another account in like 2.5 seconds and he came back on. Yeah, we're not waiting idly for like I said, soldiers to come and help us. There are many that are here with us, and we support them 1,000%. Don't get it twisted. When I'm talking, our males know who we're talking about. They know who they represent for. I'm not speaking to them. I'm speaking to the other demons. I'm speaking to those males sitting out here placating and utilizing their platforms to fish and get some of our young green sea stars so they can traumatize them and use them, abuse them, and throw them out and get another one. I'm talking to them. And we, going into a higher state of consciousness as divine feminine, or trying to uphold that, at least that status, we are going to have to uphold ourselves to a higher level of aptitude if we are going to make it to the new cycle. Unshaved, unscathed. I don't mind calling out what's necessary in order to get us to the next stage of evolution. It's necessary. Wars are not pretty, but it hasn't been pretty when we've been sitting complacently allowing them to utilize us and mistreat us and disregard our children. When do we stand up? We can't wait for a savior. We have to be our own saviors. And I know that in our healthy state of being, we have more power fielding together than we have separated and at each other's necks. So I'm asking our sea stars, those who are ready to uphold their position, and if you didn't, like I said, if you didn't think we're in a war, look around you. There are many households now where a male does not even exist. If he exists, he's a ghost. He's a remnant of the old. We have a galactic sect that is going to assist us with our next move in order to make it to our higher state of existence on this planet. So that being said, I will make it a point that I am going to support warriorship as it's necessary for us to disengage and realign ourselves in a way that would be more advantageous to us in the future. So for those who are ready, you know, the males like to battle. You've picked a battle with some very smart, spry, strong, intellectual sea stars that are ready for you. Any of you that want to come for us, you'll be met with force. And like I said, for those males who are really not about this life, you really don't want any, stand aside and let us do what we're going to do. We're here for the benefit to our children, to families. And like I said, Sea Stars, if you're worried about the warriors that we don't have, we're going to give birth to warriors that will be able to protect their villages, their families, and their mothers and their sisters. These were bad seeds. Seedless, GMO, patriarchy. Bad fruit. Probably generated out of self-loathing of the female that gave birth to these beings. We're going to start a new society. And it will be led by the matriarchy. This planet is returning back to her own personal energy. She is a matriarch. So we are fielding back in alignment with Mother Earth. That is why many males, their magic wands stop working. That's why many males are not even choosing to mate with other females, because we need the strongest and we need healthy males that are going to coexist. And if we don't have them, like I said, there's not many, we will give birth to them. In order to give birth to them, we have to stop mating with the germ seed, the terminator seeds. They're not healthy. They will only give birth to more degenerative, seedless, GMO patriarchy. And like I said, if anyone questions me saying that there are actual warriors that exist, I would ask you to show and prove. And like I said, we have a prison system that is full of men that have only abused, sexually abused, mutilated, murdered plenty of women. Where are the warriors? Because those men are still breathing with 3 meals a day under a warm roof where some of these women are under the ground dead. Where are the warriors? Where are the warriors that are sitting back and disallowing young girls from marrying old men twice their age? Where are the warriors? There's no warriors. There's not many, not enough to feel together. So we are our own warrioresses. We will do it together. We will build communities where the sisterhood will protect her own, her offspring, male and female. We will disallow these males to ever think that they can do this to us again. And like I said, I am building a community and I am bringing forth warrioresses that will handle some of you disgusting, disdainful devils that like to think that you could put your hands on females, that think you could put your hands on children, that are sitting here utilizing our females as sexual toys and disregarding them and leaving them and hurting them and breaking their hearts. You no longer are allowed to be here. We have the backing of the planet. Every element will back us. We are birthing a new nation, and you will be disallowed to ever placate and bring in your Terminator seeds. We will make sure you will not be able to bring any more of your dirty seeds to make our planet any more disagreeable than it's been. You have only sickened Mother Earth. You have made her sick. You sick bastards. You sit here and you burn our trees. You kill our life, our forest life. You dirty our waterways. You kill our animals. Then you have the audacity to want to burn and kill our females. You're no longer allowed here. And like I said, this is not a physical threat, though we could bring it that way too. If you bring it, we got something for you. Because we got some males that actually are down for the divine who will take it to that level. So, like you said, I'm unfazed if you think that I was ever. For the few males that are down with us, they can handle some of you demons. But at the end of the day, we will protect ourselves. We'll feel together, whether you be a lighter skinned female or browner skinned female, we will make sure we feel together so that this, what has been occurring to the divine, can never occur again. Not under our guise. What about the sick? Who said this? What about the sick women who abuse their young sons? Those sick women who abuse their own sons are part of the old patriarchy. Those are probably women that have already been harmed and raped by their own fathers. Sick women come from sick households. A woman's nature is to be nurturing. A woman that is not nurturing and loving and engaging, she has been altered, conditioned probably by her own patriarchy that abused her mother in the household. So please don't bring up women that are disgusting, that are mistreating their own children. They come from dirty seeds too. And many of that are males who have harmed them by disengaging with them as youthful in their youth, or they've seen their fathers beating their mother or disregarding their mother or raping their mother or beating her in front of her children. So don't sit here talking about sick females, because it's against her nature to be that way. If she's that way, it's because she's been conditioned to be that way. So in her ungodliness, in her unnatural state of being, she will have a consequence as well. And believe me, there are sea stars that are totally against the divine. They are representations of the patriarchy, and we got something for them too. You're telling our sea stars to listen. I'm all for. Listen, let me backtrack a little bit. I love divine males. I am a woman. Listen. I am a woman who adores the divine male. I love him. I support him. I mate with him. I muse him. I have zero issues with divine males who are holding themselves in high integrity, who have a healthy sense of ethics and moral compass, and I'm down with him. I am a supporter and proponent of little boys being raised to be warriors, but to be loving and nurturing and supporters in their own community and pillars of light. I have zero hatred for the males. That don't confuse. When I'm speaking about certain type of repercussions that need to go to the demonics that have been abusive and mishandling the divine, that has nothing to do with divine males. And no, yes, I am a heterosexual female. I am a bearer of light. I'm here to bring forth balance to Mother Earth. I am a steward to her. Am I gay? I'm, like I said, I'm a heterosexual female. I'm okay to engage and mate with higher field males. So what does it matter if I was gay or not? What does it matter what I'm talking about? If I'm talking about many of our gay females have been harmed by their own fathers and have been misused by males in their own right, whether they're dealing with other females or not. They too are getting it from the stoic, disgusting patriarchy. Dawn. Who's Dawn? Hold on. Okay, I did release Dawn from her thing. There's a few people on, and I think they're just what you would consider to be trolls, just here to kind of change the energy field. All I'm saying is that I'm calling for our divine feminine, for our warrioresses, those who are ready for battle, those who are already in the crux of battle. I'm calling for you to contact me, and we gonna get it on and popping. Yes, I'm building a army. Yes, I'm building an army to deal with some of these dastardly males, because it's necessary. I'm building an army so that no little girl will ever feel unsafe in her household, and there will be a direct consequence to males who harm her. So if you've decided as a male that you want to stick your penis in a little girl or a little boy, there will be a consequence to you. I'm not saying for anything physically to happen to you, but any time you've hurt one of these little children, you won't be able to exist in a cohesive way. We have sea stars in every neighborhood, every city, every occupation, every color. We will make sure that we protect our own from now on. And like I said, this is not a hit to those divine males. We need you as well. We require you. We need you in order to mate, to create other warriors, so that we no longer will have these deadbeat, disgusting, low vibrational demons coexisting on this planet cohesively. So, for those warrioresses, you know I'm talking about my Andromedan fielded warrioresses, my Anunnaki, sea stars, Nega serpent. I'm asking that you contact me, so that those males who feel that they can lay their hands on their female counterpart have a consequence. The same fear that they've bestowed upon us for the last couple of centuries, let them feel what they've reaped. Let them reap what they've sowed. Let no male feel comfortable or safe at night if he's harmed one of our children or one of our females. So for that reason, I know I'm reading comments, and I know, family, I'm reading comments as I'm reading comments as I'm doing the live feed. So anyway, hit me up, warrioresses. You know who you are. I honor you, I require you, and I'm asking for you to join with us. What is the benefit? The benefit is balance for yourself and our families. What is the future in the sisterhood, in the matriarchy resurgence? Peace. I want to one day see a placement on earth where every sea star, every child, every boy, every little girl feels safe. And if they're ever met with adversity, that there's a steep and swift consequence to those who harm any child on planet Earth. We ask for restoring of balance. In restoring balance, we have to be able to be the ones to apply that in our own behavior, our own gestures, and our own alignment. We can't ask what we're not willing to do. So I step forward and say to myself that I promise to you, I honor that I will uphold my integrity in order to protect, to feel together, and to create a society where all children, families are well and protected and live cohesively without fear of harm by an adult male. And why I bring up adult males, I'm not saying that there's not women who are harming children, but the higher consequence to the males having a very sick patriarchy, there have been a lot of unnatural males created and procreated and brought into fruition. And because of that, I have to speak to them, because in every society, the most heinous behavior is done by males. I'm not saying females do not engage in heinous behavior. I'm saying the most heinous behavior is upheld by males. Most murders are done by males. Most rapes are done by males. Most molestations occur when there is a male around. It's not something I can make up. Look at the census. How many men are in prison for killing their wives or girlfriends or molesting children? There's a lot of women in jail, but most of them have been sexually abused, raped under the influence of drugs, and neglected and abused as a child. Most. So where are we getting the sickness? So if I can link a sickness to the males as the preface to a sick female later, then the issue is with the males. And like I said, the food is a GMO. Once you have genetically modified food, it supports genetically modified beings. So you're absolutely right. The food is supporting to create more beings that are more unnatural. So we're having a purge, family. The Andromedans had distinctly made sure that I would make this message whether I was uncomfortable to do so or not. I'm cool to hold a warrioress stance. For by me making these videos, I've already stood in the forefront, and I do it unapologetically and fearless. If you come from me or my divine, we have something for you. And for all those, we will make public examples of you by slaying you mentally and intellectually. For all these pseudo-conscious communities, all of I don't even want to mention their names anymore. All of you, we have something for you. We have something for you if you ever defile one of our divine feminine again. Whether it be in name, whether it be physically, or whether it be spiritually, we have something for you. And there's names that I don't name, and you are just as accountable, and you will have just as many repercussions as those that I mentioned publicly. The ones who are mentioned publicly are actually clowns. They're clowns. That's why I can publicly just display them, and it is what it is. So for those who are down with the sisterhood and the resurgence of the matriarchy, hit me up. I need warrioresses, fearless battlers in every way. We need you. We need you so that we will build our own army, our own force to deal with these demons. Let the patriarchy never feel comfortable again, sitting and harming one of our own. So, you know my email, Delgaddess, DELGADDESS @gmail.com. And for all our divine males, I would like for you to also hit me up, as you are just as necessary for us, whether it be us mating with you and creating other warriors. Yes, it's DELGADDESS @gmail.com. We want to create a new earth, and we need you. We need you spiritually, we need you physically, and we need you genetically. And I'm serious when I say that. You know, I'm all about the gene pool. So if you are ready to be down with the matriarchy, I suggest you hit me up. I will make it so that regardless of where I am on this planet, that there will never be a male that feels comfortable hurting another female on this planet. Do you understand me? There will be consequence to you if you harm another baby. Whether you're in Asia, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Europe, North, Central, or South America, whether you're in Australia, New Zealand, we have a consequence for you. The line has been drawn in the sand. If you have any issue with this video, contact me. We have something for you too. So, Jessica Mitchell. You've sent me an email, Jessica Mitchell, have you? Be careful, Jessica, because your name looks familiar, but it might be going to spam. So hit me up with another email. Make sure when you hit me up with emails, because I get a plethora of emails, just mind you, I'm one person who reads all her emails. Remember, if you make it really, really long, it's hard for me to read a whole email. So I would say to you, if you're coming forward, now listen, the priority right now is the warrioresses and warriors. Like I said, I'm looking to build an army, a spiritual army, an integrity-based army, an ethical army, a moralistic army. Those who are in alignment with the divine matriarchy. Whether, again, if you're lending your energy for protection, if you're lending your genetics to mate and create others, we require you. Very serious. So if you would like to, of course, mate and you're healthy with our divine, we are accepting you. If you are here for the engagement of war, to bring wrath to those who are harmful to our divine matriarchy, we need you. Contact me. We're in those times. It's a short period of time, and many of us are coming together. And I ask for our sea stars to put down your swords with other sea stars. If you have any beef with the other ones, try to find a common ground. Not necessarily, if you don't trust them, not to say that you have to put trust and honor in a sea star who's displayed herself disregardingly. But remember, we're all coming from a sick system. So her behavior might be systemic from her sickness coming from a patriarchy that's ruined her life, hurt her mother, or hurt herself as a child. So know that that could be an issue. For males, we are not giving you any more extensions. Either you're down with us, stand aside if you're not, but if you're against us, you're going to be met with force, spiritual force. So, that being said, I know it's quite, well, the creator of the Volk is trying to build a nation of warrior empresses, and I am here to assist her with my channel does not shine light. Listen, our beautiful divine males. Like I said, we require you. We want you. I am a heterosexual female who is very much in balance with nature. I'm okay to have healthy males who would just lend their healthy genetics to be able to create a new generation of warriors, of loving beings, nurturing beings, but balanced, be able to protect their villages, their families, their communities, healthy. So I'm okay with that. So it is all in balance. I'm not asking for you to be perfected. I'm asking for you to uphold yourself in integrity and ethical base. That shouldn't mean that you have to be a yoga tom sitting in, meditation all day, unable to defend yourself. I'm not saying that. We require a male who is able to sit still in light, but can meet darkness with just as lethal a stance. That's what we're requiring. So I call for all my warrioresses, my females that are fighters, that are brook-ups, that are warriors, that are down for the cause, my Amazonians, my sea stars from Central America, my Latinas, my jungle brethren, my beings that are here, those living in the midst of seclusion. I'm calling for you to yield together, to feel together with us. There's no requirement, and the only requirement I have is that you uphold a healthy stance so that we are able to address any of these dark, demonic, abusive beings that are hurting and harming Mother Earth and harming her children. That's all I'm requiring. And the investment you make in joining with me and my other sea stars and sun stars is you will have a healthier life for yourself, your offspring, your families. Oh, I promote mating with healthy males. I would only require females to mate with males likened to themselves. It is healthier for a female to mate with males that are likened to herself, genealogy wise, blood type wise, and spiritual wise. So yes, I require for our females, if you're down with the divine, to mate with males that are a reflection of your genetics, because obviously you create better, healthier offspring if you are in alignment and mating with those who have more alike, not clone genes, but genealogy that would express itself in a healthier way. So yes. So when people always ask me my sexuality, because I speak so highly, or I speak so definitively about the negativity of males, it does not make me a homosexual female, because I'm upholding males to some criteria. It just makes me healthy. So like I said, hit me up. Listen, I'm putting the call out there for warrioresses. I'm talking about those who are bruck up. I'm talking about y'all who could go body up in the hood. I'm talking about y'all who are also spiritual warriors. I'm talking about y'all who are super chaotic occultists. I'm talking about all the sea stars from all aspects. I accept you all. We are in a war, and we are at the pinnacle point where it's necessary for us to feel together to rid of the debaucherous patriarchy who is still being stagnated here and holding strong, even though they know that we're going into our cycle. We're already entered our cycle. We've already won. This is how we're going to express it. So homies, hit me up. I love you all day. If you're a divine male, you have nothing but my support. I support you. I support your families, and I support your energy field. It's just, at the end of the day, I want the betterment of the planet. I am for the cohesiveness of Mother Earth, Mother Tiamat. We can't compost. A lot of these negative lower field males cannot even be recycled. They can't even be thrown into the compost because they're so dirty. They're not even compostable. They're not even recyclable. They need to be taken and omitted and muted, because they have zero to extend to a new level of existence. The pole shift is upon us. If you don't know, you'll know in a few years. We have to bring each other together. Many of us, the sisterhood is going to hold her own. I have no worries about that. But for that reason, I have to make sure that we have a clean slate while we're going through this process. We have many. Our sisterhood is widespread. We don't just sit on one place on the planet. So this is why I sit here undeterred by those patriarchy who are against us. They will be met with force, but I am calling for those who have been sitting idly, who are looking for an expression, are looking to express themselves. They've been waiting for this call. Many of them have been activated already. They've been waiting for this expression to show themselves up. I'm asking for you. I'm calling for you. We're calling for you to be in our army of love, of balance, of nourishment, everything that we desire in order to have a better plane of existence. The golden age is coming, but we have to be the ones to establish it. Let's clean out the weeds so that we can have beautiful beds of flowers and fruit and bear the most masterful fruit. So like I said, hit me up for all those males. If you want to donate yourself genetically and you're healthy, we accept that. If you are donating your security, your warrior status, your protection, we need you. If you're offering your spiritual investment in order to building protection for us, we require you. We're asking for all aspects of warriors. We're building an army of light, and we need the best and we need the baddest. And I'm requesting you at this point. I heard walking behind me. Are men the genetic, what did you say? Are men the genetic defects of womankind? Men are simply, listen, for those who know that the original beings on this planet were feminine, they were females. Some would liken them to androgynous. They were females that were able to give birth to themselves through the process of parthenogenesis. So in that itself, males were created for protection and for warrior, to protect a kingdom. That's why you have a bee and she has many, many males there to build and protect. That's what males are bred to do. They're beautiful and masterful at it. So we're supposed to have the best males to quantify and to also qualify our kingdoms. The problem is we have a sick, seedless, genetically modified male that has been perpetuating itself for the last couple hundred years. So we're seeing the systemic sickness in these males that are not have the ability to protect, and nor they have the ability to procreate and create healthy seeds, healthy life, healthy fruits. Males, the Y does not exist. There's not an XY. Me working in a lab, I've seen it firsthand. It is not a Y, it is a broken X. There is a missing leg on the X. That's genetic modification. Something on this planet had genetically modified beings creating a male on this planet, and I'm okay with that. I enjoy males. You know, it is what it is. They've been here, but they were also created to protect and build. They're not protecting, and they're only building, and they're building on the backs, and they're placating on the disparaging behaviors of their brethren. That's it. Like I said, if we had warriors on this planet, you would never see a child being raped and a man living after he rapes a child. You know, you would never see anything happen without instant repercussions. Males harm females because they're allowed to. Babies get raped on this planet because they're being allowed to. There are no warriors. There's very few, and usually a warrior gets swept up real quick or murdered because there's not enough of them. But we're here, and this is why I also called for a divine feminine to start seeding beautiful babies, starting to mate with higher field beings so that we bring in higher ancestors on this planet so that we can clean up this planet. Mind sharks, yes. We have GMOs on this planet, and they're not here to help us. Who are Trey Hall, everything that is invented and everything you enjoy and love is created by men. I disagree. Not everything is created by men. Remember, men are builders, women are muses. We bring the ideology out and men will build it and bring it into fruition. That's a fact. Every idea, every creation has come from a female mind, and then has been come into fruition and manifestation through our male counterparts. A healthy couple has a female that brings the best out of a male, and then that male is able to bring into physical reality. So to denounce that a female had instigated the thought and the pattern that the male took and was able to build and create is defamation of character. We do that well. That's why every president, the number one answer you say behind every good man is a good woman. A woman will build her man. She will muse him, and he will build what she muses him. Whatever creation is in her head, whatever her desire is for her family, for her children, for herself. That's what we do well. So please, just because you see men building things based on not giving credit to females, please be a little more insightful. Every story, every written passage was also altered, and females were also removed from getting credit from any of the things that they brought into fruition, including Jesus Christ, the Last Supper. Mary Magdalene was the star. If you believe in Jesus Christ and you think that is a true story, I don't know what your belief system is. It's not something that I necessarily have. I don't denounce it, but I don't put as much credence in it, as I know that if Mary Magdalene was the 13th in the Last Supper, she sat at the table with Jesus and the 12 disciples. She was the 13th. She was the one who was the creative one. She was the one who created that spirituality, and she didn't get the credit because the story in itself was read and interpreted by males. Many males will denounce a female, will give her no credit, even in companies, even in big companies. You see that to this day. You see a female write and do things and add her own to create storylines, or what have you. And a lot of times males will steal the credit and take it on for themselves. The mother of the Matrix told you about that. Sophia Stewart was number one. She wrote a masterful story, The Matrix. She wrote The Terminator, and it was two males that stole her story and put it on the screen. And how did she find out that they made a movie called The Matrix? She went to the movies and saw all that she wrote on the screen. She wrote it on the screen. And two males stole it and took it on for themselves and made a masterful amount of money. And then when they got a lot of money, they decided to become transgender, and they changed their sex to female because that's how much admiration they had for her as a female. They wanted to be like her. Am I a feminist? No, absolutely not. I am a divine feminine. I am an elemental. I am within alignment with Mother Tiamat. I am for the love of the planet. I desire both. I desire both balance and cohesiveness. So let us move forward. It'll be an interesting next 6 months. And like I said, any males who have a challenge for the divine, we meet your challenge and we raise you. If you want to be the example, we'll make an example of you. Wherever you are, wherever you're located, whatever race you are, consider yourself, whatever age you are, we have something for you. I suggest, if you're healthy and you are for the betterment of the planet, that you stand out of our ways. We've got this. We don't need you. You did nothing for us before, so we have no requirement of you now. If you wanted to be down with the divine, you should have showed up previously. You should have showed up 100 years ago. You should have showed up 200 years ago. Were you there when those males were throwing our babies and stealing them from the slave quarters and throwing them in as alligator bait in the waters? Were you there? If you weren't there then you're not going to be here now. So like I said, let the games begin. And for our young sea stars, you beautiful young sea stars, anywhere from 13 on, I want you to see how seasoned females handle these devils. We're going to teach you how to engage with males. We're going to show you the mastery of what the matriarchy has to service you. We're going to show you what's necessary so that you too can uphold that same status of protection and light within your own perimeters of your neighborhoods and your family dynamics. We're going to do that for you. We do that as the mothers, the grandmothers, the aunties. I went through the pain. I went through the dismay. I went through the heartache so that one day I could sit in front of you humbly, but having a sense of mastery so that I can show you how to slay the dragon. You wouldn't know how to slay the dragon, but we're going to show you. So sit down, young sea stars. Let us show you how it's done. And for that old patriarchy, you devils and you demons, you fake occultists, you dark cabal, come if you want. Anywhere you are. We'll meet you on your own land. We'll meet you on your own terms. But we will take you down. We have some of the baddest witches, occultists, women who are stronger than men 10 times fold. We have everything for you. So however you come for us, just know you're going to be met with the same force or 10 times worse. We'll meet you in your dream state. We'll meet you on your land. We'll meet you at your home. We'll meet you in the park, 3 o'clock. However, so if you have a challenge for our sea stars, hit me up in the email too. I'm unfazed. Anyway, family, I know I'm here. My squirrels are getting antsed up here in the tree because they feel it coming. I have a smell. I have a scent of victory. And it's coming soon, my wonderful sea stars. So for all of you who are feeling unempowered, you're feeling lost, you're feeling beaten up, we've got your back. We're going to protect you and your babies, and we'll make sure it's not going to ever happen again, not under our watch. Whether I'm here or gone, I've created offspring who would take my place. And I plan for my other sea stars to create offspring that will make sure that the next generation has a much more secure future. So, it's on and popping. I love you. Keep it moving for those who don't want any. And let the games begin. The purge is upon us. I suggest you be down with the divine. If you're not, it's going to be an interesting future for you and yours. All right. Peace.